Hi, this is Hi Bob Poor Bob, and we're about to play some Ultimate General Civil War.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing Chickamauga Day 2. So I moved some units over into this corps that were like 1961s to get some better kills on this upper portion up here. We are going to get our guys moving in the right directions as quickly as possible. And hopefully we will continue to, stay ahead of the game, which we do for the most part. You're going to see some black borders on things. I'm very sorry. I've switched to doing a new recording size, and that means my intros are now a new recording size. So it's either they get a black border or this does, and this is what I'm moving to. So that is just the way it's going to be for now. So we set up to ambush these 3 units of infantry as they come on and a unit of artillery. We then go ahead and there is 3 units of infantry that move down this way along with a unit of artillery here. And we go ahead and get them. I think it's 3 units of infantry. We've only seen 2 units, but I think there's one more somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure. And the goal basically is just to get them to route and keep them routing and surround them as they move towards the eastern side of the board there. With these guys, it's best if you can get them to move up into the open area so you don't fire at them while they're in the forest, because firing at them in the forest takes a long time to actually get them to route. I swear there's 3 units of infantry. I think one already routed past. Yep, there it is. It's down there already. So we get our first reinforcements. And the goal with them is to ambush guys to the south of this location. We did have like 1 unit left over from yesterday's battle, so we do have to fight him today, which is fine. No big deal there. We should be able to... He comes in up a little bit north where that unit is. That the unit towards the north there a little bit. But he's only like 600 men, and it's really not that bad. We do take a couple extra losses here because we're firing at somebody who's pretty much recovered while they're in the forest and we're in the forest, and it takes a while to route units that are in the forest, obviously. So there we're just kind of getting guys across the river as quickly as possible. And we're trying to move up an extra unit up there because they're liable to route around if we don't get another unit there to kind of help block the way. There's about to be several more units spawn in here pretty shortly. I don't remember exactly what time they spawn in. Pretty shortly here. Okay. Does look like we're going to finish up that artillery. That's good. And once we hold that corner there, we pretty much have them boxed in down there from this direction at least. There is another unit that spawns up north of there, and I'm sending that guy up there to deal with that. Here we deal with a problem that comes up pretty often where units... He just wants to route straight through my men, and I don't want him to route straight through my men, so I'm just going to keep him from routing through my men by moving my men backwards faster than he can until we finally get the capture. It's not the best way to do it. I mean, it's not the most, correct way to do it, but it works. So there's the little unit. The little unit 700 up there is the extra unit that would not be here if you had killed everybody on day one. We are moving in to position now, down here in the south. Doing a pretty good job of that. We had also captured 2 units of those guys, and then we, the other one was pretty well beaten. I mean, we'd beat it on him a lot. I mean, he's not actually beaten, obviously. He's still there, just fine. So here's that unit. I had misplaced my unit, so I got it running up there and to get in his way. So now they are just starting to route and come back and route and come back, which is fine. We'll let them keep doing that, and we will get into a position where we can make them pay for it. The map's going to open up in about 19 minutes, and that's not optimal, but not terrible. I would have liked to have been able to finish off a few more men before that point, but there's not a whole lot you can do there. You just have to kind of deal with what you've been given. There's just very little chance to actually wipe out all these guys before that timer. That's just the fact of the matter. Like, no matter what you do, it's really hard to actually get them all killed before that point. I don't remember exactly how many we killed. It has been a couple days since I did this battle. I got a little bit ahead of myself on fighting and a little bit behind on actually recording the voice and everything for some of these. I enjoy fighting the battles. I do not enjoy quite as much recording the sound for these battles. If I do it afterwards, I prefer to do the voices during, because it takes a lot less time and a lot less tedious. Get another capture. Nope, just supplies. So we're going to go ahead and keep our guys moving that way and make sure that we can get the capture, hopefully, I think. I'm not sure. I think we just run them away at this point. It's too dangerous. Yeah, go ahead and run them away. Let them get away. We don't need to push our luck there. I think, yeah, we're just going to try to kill the artillery there, or get some good shots on them at least. And yes, this is pretty much cheating with detaching skirmishers and reattaching them and all that. But, I mean, yeah, it's cheating. Straight and simple cheating. But a lot of these I figured they should have already surrendered anyway, so whatever. Okay, so now we need to start making sure that the rest of our forces are moving into a position that will allow them to flank up to the north, up and around the men that we can see there. So we're just slowly working our way towards the end result of we're going to kill everything on this map, I think. Yeah, we'll kill pretty much everything on this map before the day is done. You got to be careful because sometimes your stuff can get seen at different times, and that can be definitely unfun, for sure. But overall, this stuff is going pretty straightforward so far. Getting seen is kind of dangerous at this point because they tend to be a little bit, I don't know, a little extreme on the fact that they really want to charge you out there. I just felt like we should have been able to get that capture, so I just moved my guys until I do. Either a capture or a shatter. Either one is fine. I don't mind either one. I hate that they can escape, so I make sure that they can't. Period. Go ahead and get all the captures that we have moving to a point out of the way so that they don't accidentally recapture them. See, just getting seen and stuff has them charging out here after us. They don't usually come out there if you don't get seen, which is both good and bad. I guess getting some extra kills on them at this point is not terrible, but at the same time, it would be nice to get a little bit more of a surround going before they start getting into a position to threaten my line, so that I can take more advantage of the fact that, they're routing backwards and things like that. But it is how it is. I mean, it's nothing too terribly bad for us. They do have a lot of artillery in this one, so you got to be careful of that. But overall, it's going pretty well. They were able to recover their condition up there, which I shouldn't have let them do. I mean, their morale up there, which I shouldn't have let them do. But I didn't want to make them run away either, because then you got to chase them all over the place, and I didn't really want to have to do that. So there's two ways of thinking about it. We got quite a few men that just spawned in during this wave, and that will be very helpful shortly. I think we got a sniper in and a couple other men, maybe even some cannons up to the north of this part. I think we got some in, and those will be able to help out and try to take out some of their cannons. Yeah, I accidentally got them to rout, which I didn't mean to do. So we're just going to kind of sit back there for a second, kind of let our other guys catch up a bit. We do have a guy coming down, which is kind of problematic because I didn't really expect them to do that. And I think our cannons got shot a little bit. So just by waiting, they came back. So that's perfect. It's exactly where I wanted them to be. I didn't want to have to deal with them being in a bad spot for me, so that works out fine. They probably do have a little bit more cover this time, but we've got units moving in from both sides now, so we'll be able to deal with that easily enough. Just trying to get all my units to be not seen, pretty much, is the goal. Because we really don't want to be taking bombardment shots if we don't have to at any point. Especially if we're not like actually fighting. We prefer not to. We do take some losses there that we shouldn't have. But nothing we can really do about that. These guys do a really good job of moving in and getting flanking shots on that unit that's in the fortifications there. Several units moving forward. Getting the rest of our snipers down there. There's our cannons that spawned in. So we'll get those guys moving to the north and see if we can't get some eyes on some of their artillery at different times, because obviously we don't want their artillery doing anything to us if we can help it. I did cheat a little bit there, just trying to get our guys into position better. So we're unable to see their snipers there, but they're still there, that's for sure. Here we take a step forward and get some shots on their artillery, and then back up. You see their artillery's kind of being a little bit stupid, but we'll make it work. We've got snipers kind of. I know that they're standing there and I just can't see them, so I move them forward and tell my snipers to shoot them as well, hoping that we can go ahead and get them wiped out soon, but I'm not real hopeful. Those guys are oftentimes a pain. I think I remember that they got one of the highest kill counts on the enemy team out of any unit, which is a little bit scary. That's just what happens with snipers, though. Snipers are really good. Like, even if the AI is using them, they're still really good. And you have to be really careful around them, and you have to plan for them. And if you don't, you take a lot of losses. And they're really just super hard to get vision on. So we were able to get a flanking shot on that unit, and it pretty much immediately routes, I think. No? Yeah. I mean, pretty much immediately. So now we're in a good position to keep moving on around, keep getting into a good position with them. We didn't move forward nearly as fast as we should have here. We should have gotten in position sooner. You really don't want them to be able to continuously put new units up in that fortification up in the north. They will try to move units up there sometimes, and if they get into those while you're standing there, sometimes they will just absolutely wreck you in melee, which is crazy because they're basically just walking over there, and you're, yeah, it can be a little annoying. Overall, the battle's going really well. I did have to fight this several times to figure out what I wanted to do and where I needed to move things. And especially with the artillery. The artillery definitely makes this map difficult, trying to figure out where they all are and trying to, get into position to make it difficult for them to shoot me for the entire match, can be extremely difficult because they do have a lot of artillery. And there's a lot of spawn points and things like that. You don't know until you've, tested it out and found out where exactly they come in and what exactly their goals are of where they want to be, and things like that also affect, how you see things or what you can see from different spots. So I think they shattered, so I'm pretty excited about that. One more unit out of the way for this. Once again, their sniper unit is being annoying, but that's just kind of how that's gonna be. We do get a few good shots there, it looks like. Snipers are just really difficult to get vision on and to actually do damage to, because they just don't take much damage. This is kind of the definition of a sniper, though, in this game. Skirmishers don't take as much damage and can be really difficult. So that one unit's moving up around there, and I'm worried that he's going to get into a fortification up there. It's on my flank, and that's pretty much the reason why I am moving the way I'm moving. And now we're getting shelled because I didn't pay enough attention, and I didn't realize they were going to get seen that easily, which is my fault. So I go ahead and leave a 10-pounder, I think, forward to get shot at so that my 20-pound parrots can get away easier. I mean, you can see how big that skirmisher is there. He's absolutely deadly. Try not to capture any of the flags, because I think as soon as you take them, weird things start happening. So we're going to try not to capture all the flags. I think it's something like if you capture one of them but not all of them, then things are bad. I can't remember exactly how it all goes down, but I try not to capture flags. That's pretty much a general rule, that I just try not to capture flags most of the time. You have a long time on this battle to just slowly move forward, slowly do stuff, and so you don't have to be in much of a hurry at this point. As soon as this phase opens up, they get a little bit aggressive here, but we go ahead and knock them back pretty quick. I just have that unit back there just to kind of move in if I need to, but most of the time I don't need to, but it's good to have them there anyway, just in case. You don't want to get your skirmishers into melee if you can help it, especially not if they're snipers. And I failed to keep them out of melee there, which is a little disappointing. But I don't always do everything perfect, I will admit. I do come up a little bit short every once in a while. So we're able to knock them back, keep them from getting the fortification up there, which is great. We do have several units that are getting seen and stuff, and that leads to us getting shelled by their artillery. And obviously we would like to keep the shelling of our units to a minimum while keeping the shelling of their units to a maximum, because that leads to better things for us. Goal here is just to corral this guy. I think I pretty well fail, because, I mean, it's just, I guess, what I do. For some reason, I fail at corralling these guys. There's their snipers again. I really, really would love for those snipers to get killed, but it's going to be a long time before we kill them. They are going to get a lot of kills before we're done. We need to keep our 20Ps from getting shot. There we go. So I finally go ahead and move the 10 pounders to the front so they can start taking all the hits instead of my 20 pounders, which is the way that it should have been from the beginning. We find that they have a ton of artillery up here without infantry support, which is amazing and makes absolutely zero sense. Why on earth they have that much artillery there with no infantry, except the fact that we just knocked their infantry back, but really, like, the artillery should have started falling back too, but is what it is, I guess. Here we're just trying to get infantry into position to knock them back as fast as we can. They've got those snipers running around taking shots at me, which is not a grand old time, that's for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and move one of those infantry around, it looks like. We are going to start pushing down here. Got to be careful because they'll have guys in fortifications all along there. I think there's either 2 more fortifications or just 1. I can't remember. And they were out through not 1, but 2 full units of infantry, which is a great feeling. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Okay, we're able to knock back their skirmishers again. We've knocked them down to quite a few less men than they started out with, but they've still got plenty of men left. They still do quite a bit of damage. So now we've got the rest of our infantry moving in, which is great. Great news. bad news is I moved a unit the wrong way and got some guys shot a bit there, and that guy's coming forward, which is not great. So we really need to, move into a position where we can stop them from shooting me for long periods of time, hopefully. But so far, it's not looking great, to be honest. Like, feel like I haven't progressed enough in the north, and I've progressed too much in the south in some ways. It would have been better to, get things together a little bit differently than the way it has come together here. We've got that sniper out there, and we really need him to actually die and not just get beat up and then come back. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be back. I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, but I can always wish that he didn't. So we find another unit of artillery there, it looks like. We see the skirmisher for just a second, but not enough to actually get much of a shot on him, which is too bad. Would have really liked to have gotten a good shot on him there. As you can tell, the speed on this battle is pretty fast. I'm not going to lie, I did speed it up quite a bit, just because if I don't, it will take a long time to get through this. I think the original battle was 2.5 or 3 hours long, just this one day. So I sped it up to 400% for you guys' viewing pleasure. Should be quite a bit easier to watch at that point. So that unit that kind of chased the sniper across the water there is now in the position that he is taking shots from the skirmisher there. And now the skirmisher's on the other side of the water. It disappears right there, and then it retreats a little bit, and we are not going to get eyes on that for a bit. Problem is that we can't just charge in there after him, because we would take damage from a lot of places. So we are going to take some shots in relatively low cover there, just to keep from having to take more shots from him and other units in the near future. So here we're moving forward, and we're going to get shots on that that fortification there, which is great. From the rear, knocks it out with basically just one hit. It's great. We're still taking shots from across the river, and there's basically nothing we can do. I could try to move forward there, but there's a fortification there, and I am afraid that by moving forward to try to fight the skirmisher, I'm going to start taking shots from the fortification. We do kind of flank the fortification, but they're liable to just throw another guy in it as soon as that guy leaves. And if I leave a guy in range of that fortification, I'm just going to be in trouble long term until we get the rest of these. So now that we've got the front fortification routed, now we can start moving in more, hopefully. Now we've got another fortification flanked and pretty much immediately routed that one. That's a good sign. Got most of the guys up here routing pretty good. We get a shot on their skirmishers again, a little bit there, which is great. Not quite as much as I would have liked. I would have preferred to have a few more kills on them, but not a whole lot you can do there. We still got 2 hours left, which is good. We've got those two units moving from down south. Hopefully they will get here. I think they get here not too much further distant, but I mean, it's going to be a little bit. It takes time for those guys to move up. It's a long way to go. Their skirmishers are broken again, so that's good. But they have gotten quite a few kills while sitting there. I think it's 200 or 300 kills they've gotten while sitting there. Along with other things, it has not been the brightest moments. and we start taking shots from the infantry in the forest there. So just no matter what we do, like that unit is just not in a good way. Now we're just needing to move forward and consolidate the gains that we had, because we don't want them to move back into the fortifications that are there, if at all possible. I think they actually have a unit in one of the fortifications there, and we'd really prefer not to get into too big a fight with units in fortifications unless we flank them or are directly behind them, because it can be rather painful rather quickly. Yep, that unit there's kind of a problem. We need to get into the forest instead of standing on the edge of the forest. We're not moving into the forest nearly as quick as I would like, and the units on the other side should have been already moving so that then we could get into a better position to flank these units in a timely manner. But we're just a little bit behind there. We do a good job of getting shots whenever we do get there, so they shouldn't be real excited about fighting us for too much longer there, which will be good for us. Here we're just moving forward, consolidating our gains, keeping them from being able to move. Hopefully within range of our guys, we'll keep them. And then this guy routes the wrong way, and that's obviously a problem. And despite the fact that we move a unit over there in front of him, I believe he's still... Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the victory conditions and whether or not, like, holding this one will be bad. So I let him go ahead and retake it, while moving a guy over there to just hold to keep them from being able to get away. Should have moved that unit to flank the 3-star unit that you can barely see on the edge of the screen over there. I guess it is flashing at this point, so it's not too big a deal, but it would have been a good idea to get some shots off on its flank, maybe make it retreat a little bit quicker. But overall, it works out pretty well. I'm not moving in from the south here because I don't want to actually trip the flag, but I probably should have just gone ahead and not worried about the flag so much, because in the end, the flag is not too big a deal if you can kill them all. Now, of course, the problem with that is if you don't kill them all, then bad things start happening, but that's fine, because we do kill them all in this case. See, they're still not there because I had one guy walk and one guy run, and the running guy got there way faster. Should have just had them both run. That's usually the case. Running is usually just better, just straight up, no matter what. I've said it before, and I will say it again in future videos, probably. I try to reiterate stuff every once in a while, just so that in case anybody hasn't heard me say it, that they can hear me say it again. Just because Panda just removed being able to hold position while on top of units, which, is a little sad for me because it's one of the things I use a lot here. Obviously, you can see that the majority of my units are stacked on top of each other. And basically the only difference it makes is units can still fire on top of each other. They just can't hold position while on top of each other. So you are going to run through all of your condition and stuff by doing that. And that's only on the new rebalance version. Does not actually affect the UI mod at all yet. Which, I get it. It is a bug. It shouldn't exist, but I enjoy it. And I found it, so, it's kind of a personal thing to me. So yeah, we are definitely pushing them in now, like, really hard. You see how many men we have up there. It's a lot. of units that we have pushing from that direction, and I am worried that they are going to just route out the south here. So I'm trying to move more men into the south so that we can hold better, but we also have the problem of the fact that we're getting shot by guys, and I don't like holding in no cover areas if I can help it, but here I don't really have much of a choice. So we are getting another unit that way. So now we have a lot of units down to the south, and they're starting to surrender. But obviously we don't want our snipers getting involved in that, because that would be bad. So we go ahead and just have them move through them. We should be able to capture them pretty easily here. And so we go ahead and move in with most everybody, but we do leave some units to the south that will be to hold. But this is pretty much going to be the end of this battle here in just a second. We will be able to get the capture on these last few guys. And there you go. That's that. Just looking over the whole army. Picking out some replacement officers. And thinking about what. So this is what we started with at the beginning of the day. 86931. And what we ended with for the day was 81639. So we lost 5,292 men, and we lost 1,860 the first day, so that's a total of 7,150 men lost. Overall, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with where that is at. Of course, we're going to completely turn off our supplies today, because that just cost us probably 140,000 almost to refill both of these wagons, and we don't need any supply on the last day, so we're going to empty it back out, because that's just a waste. Like, we don't need to refill our wagons this day. So yeah, total we made almost 190,000 just from emptying all of our things. It's not too bad. We could go ahead and put in 1,000 each of them, and then we'll route them off the battlefield. Hopefully that'll get us another one for the next time we play. I don't know if ammo refills after the day, but if it doesn't, then we'll easily be able to use up 1,000 supply, route one of them. You only have to route one of the two off the battlefield, and then hopefully we'll have 3 wagons for the next major battle. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Well, I hope you guys have had as much fun as I've had. This has been a blast. I hope to see you back here for the next episode. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.